Hey sis, it's Kiara Shea, and I'm here with a story this time, a little tea about me and how I moved to New York with the $600. I'm in a way better place now, but if you want to find out how, let's get into it. Keep watching. Okay, so moving to New York with $600 was not the plan. I have wanted to move to New York my whole life. I mean, not my whole life, but literally most of it. I mean, it's the fashion capital of the world. I've always been into fashion. Like, my 17 magazines coming to my doorstep, Vogue magazine, just looking. And it was all happening in New York. And then I got obsessed with the heels. I know that I say that word weird because I'm from the South, but Hills, heels. And I just fell in love with Lauren Conrad and how she was working at a magazine. And oh my gosh, I thought I was unique and like looking at this show and like, oh my gosh, I have to live her life. And almost every girl in New York had the same dream and saw this same damn show and thought the same damn thing. So yeah, so good job, MTV, on marketing and getting people to New York. Now it's a whole bunch of females like me, but so funny. But I really did want to move there just to get more education in the fashion industry. And I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. And Atlanta is a really great progressive city, especially for Black people in general. I mean, but I felt that I wasn't growing as much in what I wanted, the field that I wanted to be in. I was trying to be a stylist and blog a lot of the things that I am interested in today, but I mean, I didn't know all the different fields that you could be in fashion living in Atlanta, because I mean, they're not right in your face. I mean, no one's really doing them or talking about them because those opportunities weren't there. And I knew that there was something more out there. So I was like, I just gotta move to New York. And I was saying this all through college, all through my internship, I'm going to move to New York. To the point that my friends and family were like, yeah, Kiara, you gonna move to New York, we know. And it just, I don't know. I'm like, no, I'm going to move. And then I ended up meeting this guy on Tinder, yeah, in Atlanta. And we ended up meeting up on Halloween, just like random in Atlanta. And he told me he lived in New York, but he was from Atlanta. And that relationship is a whole different episode. But anyways, I was like, wow, my ass. Wow, it's a sign I should move to New York. But okay, let me rewind. We were dating for a good year. He would come to Atlanta a lot, and we would just meet up, hang out, and it became serious. And I told him, like, I'm gonna move to New York. Like, I would tell everybody, like, I'm moving to New York. And he was like, okay, well, be my girlfriend. And I'm like, cool, yeah. And then it became this long distance relationship for a little bit too long. And the conversation would just be, so when are you moving to New York? And I'm like, I just need to move to New York. Like, this, I need to stop beating around the bush, whatever. But I was working at Michael Kors in the mall, making most of my money off of commission. So I was making Atlanta money, retail money, which was good because I was living at home with my parents. Like, it was completely fine. But I like to shop. So most of my money would, just be in my account for a little bit, but I wasn't really saving. Like, I was saving a little bit, yeah, but not enough to live in New York. But luckily, I did have a cousin that lived in New York, and he was going to go on tour. So he did Broadway shows. And he was telling my mom that he was going on tour, and that just like was in passing. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's going on tour, meaning his apartment's going to be open. Oh my gosh, I need to hit him up. I need to talk to him. So I just called him and was like, hey, when are you going to be leaving your apartment? And then he told me the dates, and I was like, I'm going. I'll take it. I'll take your apartment. At that time, I did not have enough savings to move to New York. He just told me the rent, and the rent was $600. And I was like, cool. I'm gonna be ready. And it was about a month in advance notice of when he was leaving for his tour. And I'm just like, cool. I'm gonna have $600. I'm gonna pay the rent, and then I'm gonna figure it out. I'm just gonna figure it out. Like, that's just my personality. Like, I just feel like I just gotta be in New York. I have a boyfriend in New York. I've been wanting to live in New York for the longest. It's just, I just gotta be there. And now my cousin's leaving his apartment. His rent is only $600, which is like not even heard of. He lived in the Heights, Washington Heights. That's why. But even still, like, if you look up apartments in Washington Heights today, it is not, you can't find an apartment for $600 to rent. And it's not it was a room. Anyways, so I have a month in advance. So I give my notice at work. I tell them, hey, I'm moving to New York in a month, just to let you know. And it's so funny. And then I put in my notes, I'm telling all my friends, I'm telling my parents. My parents are still like, okay, Kiera, you're moving to New York. And I'm like, I am hella serious this time. I'm so serious. And so I'm busting my butt at work, making as much money as I can to buy this plane ticket and to, buy a coat. I never had a coat, and I'm moving to New York in January. So this is going to be right after the holiday season, where I'm making most of my money at Michael Kors through commission. Everyone was buying bags at this time. This was 4 years ago. People buying bags and watches. So I was making good money. And so I put in my notice, and I was just telling all my friends, like, I'm going. Everyone is still like, no, okay, whatever. And then I buy the one-way ticket. I get enough money. I buy a one-way ticket to New York. I still remember. My flight was set to January 9th. January 9th, I will never forget the date. That's my New York anniversary. And once it was booked, I called my boyfriend. I was just like, my flight's booked. I booked a one-way ticket. I'm coming to New York. I told my cousin, I booked a one-way ticket. I'm coming to New York. I did not tell my parents because they was already like, she ain't moving. So I'm like, oh, I'm just going to show them. I'm just going to show them that I'm moving. And after I end up buying luggage, buying my plane ticket, I just had enough money to pay rent. I literally just had enough money to like eat maybe and pay rent. So I get to New York, my cousin's there, pass off the apartment to me, and I'm just like, wow, I'm in New York and I'm broke. In the hood. I didn't even know what the hood was at that point. I'm just like, I'm in New York. I'm in Manhattan, you know? I'm feeling good. And but I'm like, I need to find a job. And luckily, my boss did introduce me to the lady at the Flatiron District, Michael Kors. So I ended up calling her and setting up an interview. And I luckily got the job, but they were not going to pay me more than what I was making in Atlanta. And Atlanta rent costs and New York rent costs are not the same at all. And granted, I am living $600 for rent. Cool. It could pay for that, but I'm subleasing my cousin's apartment. I need to save up money to get my own place. And when you're getting your own place, you have to pay 2 times the rent. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this job, but this is not gonna be it. I ended up applying literally to so many different retail shops, and I ended up getting a job at Burberry. So that was kind of like my first like longer term job in retail. I mean, as soon as I got to New York, and also my first high-end retail job, which, I mean, I only have great things to say about Burberry. So yeah, so that actually held me off. I ended up getting my own place with one of the girls I actually met at Michael Kors, but in Atlanta. She ended up moving to New York shortly after, and we ended up getting our own place together. And I was just so happy that I was able to get my own place and move to New York on my own. And oh my gosh, my parents, the day that I moved out in Atlanta, was like, wait, you're leaving? What? You're serious this time? Yes, I'm gone. Bye. So, my best friend took me to the airport and everything, and I was like really gone. It really didn't hit until later, and they were very shocked that I really wasn't asking for money. I was just doing me, and that's one thing that I love about New York. It gives you so many opportunities, and you're always so busy and doing something that you just really don't have time to sit and sulk, because there's so many opportunities and things that you could be doing. And it's just a hustler city, and that's what I love about it. And I'm always challenged when I'm there. So yeah, so I have this boyfriend, I have this apartment, and I also have a friend from Atlanta. So everything is great, except for all my friends are my boyfriend's friends, and I only have one friend who is from Atlanta. So that was like really weird, and I kind of had to figure that out also, because a long distance relationship is like cool, and your relationship is also cool, the place you met, but once you get in the same city and start seeing their life in the city, just, I don't know, things are different. And then I just wanted to do me. I wanted to party, fill out the city, which a lot of my money did go to that, and I was still living very check to check during that time, because New York promoters will be in your DMs. It's like they know when you just moved here. It's like, you moved to New York, yo, come to One Oak. And that was my life for a good year, for sure. But then I started like growing up, moved to Williamsburg, moved out of the hood in Washington Heights. And then I moved to Williamsburg, and I just fell in love with Williamsburg, the creatives there, and I ended up getting the opportunity that I have now, where I work now, by just walking around in Williamsburg. And then I stumbled upon the company that I work for now, and it kind of just went from there. My eyes just opened to this completely different mindset of people. Just like, I don't know. I still really like that about New York, even though there are ups and downs, and I'm like, do I really want to be here? But when I think about just like the dynamic of the city, and especially Brooklyn, like Brooklyn is my spot, and that's home. I can't see myself living anywhere else in New York. But yeah, so the advice that I have about just getting up and just going for it is just do it. Literally, like Nike, just do it. I really got tired of people telling me, you know, you're really not going, you know, you like, you know, just why are you going? Like, stop talking about it, just do it. And I finally did, and I feel like it was one of the best decisions of my life. And it's so funny, like, the thought of me even moving back to Atlanta scares me. Like, during this COVID-19 situation, I'm like, what if I have to move back to Atlanta? Oh my gosh, that scares me so much, because I take pride in being able to just get up and go and just doing it on my own. And I feel like if you have that drive and that fire under your butt, then you will push even harder. And I just had to realize that, yes, I only have $600 in my bank account, but I know that I have all of these other elements that I can leverage to keep me here. And I know I have a great personality, I have a good resume, I don't know what that was. But anyways, yes, so that's my advice. I think if you're trying to get up and go and move anywhere, just do it. I mean, be smart about it, but in the end, if it's something that you really want to do, you will find a way. Your human instincts will kick in, and you will just do it and figure it out. I did have to deal with rats and mice in my apartment, and but now I live in not a way better apartment, but in a better neighborhood for sure. I don't have rats anymore. So that's my advice. Like, I don't know. Like, I just thought this was like a cool story. I know I jumped around a lot, but yeah, I now work at a tech startup in marketing. I mean, in merchandising. Yeah. So I now work at a tech startup in merchandising, digital merchandising manager. And Soho our office is in Soho, and it just feels so cool to be a part of a startup and a company that is just in the beginning, and my ideas are noticed right at the start. So yeah, so I've definitely come a long way and I've been in New York 4 years. So just to give you a little bit more insight of like where I started, and it took me 4 years to get here, and I'm very comfortable and happy in a new relationship and have new opportunities and a whole group of friends. So if you're thinking about it, leave a comment, let me know, and happy traveling. Thanks guys for listening to a little bit of tea about me. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I am going to try to put out a video one a week, but don't hold me, okay? Yeah, so subscribe, leave a comment, and I'm still really small, so I want to talk to you. Okay, bye guys.